And now it is time to finish the first trilogy of Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations is the conclusion of the Phoenix Wright trilogy, featuring 5 more cases left for the player to figure out. So overall, does this game stick the landing? I'd say so, yes. I do have my sticking points and epics here and there, but yeah, I think this is a fitting ending for this trilogy. But while this may feature a fitting ending, are this game's cases as good as they can be? Well, without further ado, let's get started. Phoenix Wright's a murderer! Alright, so the game opens up with a flashback case where we share the perspective of Meee. I gotta say, the idea of playing as different characters is a cool one, even if gameplay wise, they're not even remotely different in any capacity aside from maybe flavor text. This is Mee's second case in her career, and boy what a doozy. Phoenix Wright as the defendant? You mean the Phoenix Wright as a defendant? We had 2 whole games where we followed in the footsteps of Nick, so that by itself is a great hook as to whoever murder case we're about to solve. Case writing wise, I think this case is solid. I do have a sticking point that I thought was extremely weird. So we get Phoenix's testimony in our evidence. I think you can guess where I'm going with this. Now in the first game we did use some kind of a testimony, but never mind the fact that that took place after the trial and we merely just collected info that was present in the trial. This is straight up testimony that we get mid-trial as evidence. And we have been shown that Phoenix isn't really that trustworthy, at least at the beginning of the case. He lies on the witness stand and he's very susceptible to hiding info from us. And the worst part is we use this testimony to form an argument only for later to back down from that argument and then make a completely different one while still having the testimony as a base. Why? I really don't understand this progression at all. It's like Takumi got stuck at one point while writing this case, trying to figure out how to connect this and this, and this was the best solution to him. I don't like this. Aside from that, the case is fine. I like Meee. She's quite sassy. She's got jokes on her belt. That's nice. But for a character that was supposed to be a big deal during the first game, only for it to be kinda nullified afterwards, having the opportunity to play as her, while it is cool, it isn't really that mind-blowing. This case does show off more of Meee, since we haven't really gotten much from her, and we still don't have much from her in terms of her being channeled. She was always a pretty stoic and calm and endearing character with hints of determination and relentlessness, but not much. All I can say is I like that they focus on those 2 aspects. If you ever wish to see Phoenix Wright be a crybaby, then this case is for you. This freak of nature lies to you, hides shit from you, cries like a baby in front of everyone, fucking eats a necklace that has a tiny bottle with potential poison on it that was evidence in our case at one point and is down bad for his then girlfriend. Some might say Phoenix has Riz, but others may call it friends with benefits. Kinda cathartic to see this man like this, especially since we just finished Farewell My Turnabout from last game. Winston Payne has hair. Then he loses it. Dahlia Hawthorne. I'll talk about her later. Spoiler alert, she is an overarching villain. Grossberg is here to teach you how to play Ace Attorney, as if most people playing this game aren't playing the Phoenix Wright trilogy that's on modern platforms right now. But you know, tutorials and hemorrhoids. So overall, Turnabout Memories, I mean, it's a pretty good, strong first case, I say. I mean, the bar is in hell right now. It's not like it was that difficult to do it. The Stolen Turnabout is half theft case and half murder case. That's pretty cool. Trying to branch out a bit with these cases. We've always solved the murders, but theft? Well, there's always a first for anything. Let's talk about the case itself. The investigation segments are okay. Although when inspecting the scene of the crime, I can't help but notice the fact that Pearl is the one trying to figure out what happened. Meanwhile, Phoenix keeps getting distracted by Maya's quirks. Like, cool, the character that I'm playing as doesn't even get the chance to think about anything. I also don't like the fact that they spent a noticeable chunk just recapping just who these characters are and what happened in the past. Like, damn, I get it. It has been 2 years since the other game released, in order of release timeline wise, but maybe don't talk about literally everything. They even mentioned case 2 of Justice for All. Like, bro, are you giving me a history lesson now? Also, I think this is a good time to say this. The moment you notice every single character introduction is exactly the same, where the background fades to black and then the main character says their name, either theirs or someone else's name, and their occupation. I call this my name is character and I am occupation. Just a fun little observation from my end. I mean, you can reintroduce characters in a million ways, and this was the best they could think of. But also, you played the 3rd game in a series of games and you were like, who are these people? But anyways, the first investigation has been trying to figure out the theft side of this case. Although I question the mere existence of this psyche log, like I get it, they try to make another tutorial to how this mechanic works, but like, none of this is sure in the slightest. It's really now that I know what the case is about. The major soul of psyche log segment, that was nothing but lies. I thought this mechanic had a specific purpose, but I guess not. We can make up psyche logs at will. Second investigation is us trying to figure out the murder aspect of this case. It's fine. I don't have much to say to this. I don't like that we solved the mystery of whatever the fuck clumsy shit Adrian was doing in the basement warehouse as the last thing we do in this investigation. It feels like they kind of forgot about this one detail since this was a thing since the very beginning, man. I feel like I could have inserted this during the first investigation segment. I don't know. First trial day is trying to prove our client didn't steal shit. This is like a much easier tutorial case that also ends in like 5 seconds. I was kind of surprised at how quick it came and went. There are some logic trips here, such as how when you object with the Shikishiro, they bring up the testimony admin provided yesterday, but because it was a one-on-one conversation, how the hell can you even prove that what he said then is true, since according to Phoenix, he changed his testimony, so now instead of his back, it's his forehead being hit. To be fair, he never once was hit in any part of his head, so the second trial day sees us solving the murder plot. Honestly, I don't actually recall seeing any logical errors during this segment, so shoot me if I'm wrong. I do certainly remember the last testimony being a bit of a doozy, but honestly it was fairly obvious if you paid the least bit of attention. But one thing that I don't understand about this case from a writing standpoint is just the nature of the case. We are defending a criminal. I distinctly remember case 4 of Justice for All, where Phoenix made a big ass deal about him not being okay with defending the bad guys. In this case, he doesn't seem to be that stressed out that, yes, the defendant is an actual thief, even if he only stole one artifact. It's just strange to me, that's all. I also forgot this case uses that as part of Phoenix being at its last wits, like at any point in this case is there's like any feelings of hopelessness. As for the characters, Ron the Light is a fine character. I enjoyed his story. I thought him and his wife had a cute backstory where this freak of nature just rushed, shrieks ablazing onto 2 robbers to save a girl, which she ended up becoming his wife. Desiree the Light is a woman all about the thrills of life, while her husband is a bit more reserved. But damn it, their relationship is cute, with signs of dabbling into crime. Look at me. He's look at me. Fitting descriptor if I must say so myself. I mean, the man tried to get sentenced through a different crime so he can have an alibi against this murder of some dude. That was pretty crazy, and his overall manners make for a really entertaining character. Too bad he drops his ace detective persona as soon as you accuse him of being Mask the Mask. Zvari! Larry Butts returns for this case to act like a complete fuck-ass loser, and that's about it. Man, I don't even care if the case writing for this one in particular isn't good. This case is such a vibe. Yes, I am admitting to the fact that I think this case is good. Case writing wise, I haven't noticed a lot of errors aside from like 1 or 2 here and there, but if there was a case where I really enjoyed the character writing, then it's obviously case 3. I swear, this shit has been comedy gold from start to finish. I don't think I laughed as much as on like any other funny moments from other cases, quite like the entirety of case 3. They know the idea behind it is ridiculous and I'm all in for it. Basically, someone impersonated Phoenix Wright and did a shit job defending the accused. That's it. What's hilarious about this is the fact that the actual guy who impersonated him is nowhere close to resembling Phoenix. Aside from his spiking hair and blue suit, wow, is that all it takes to steal Phoenix's fit? The case itself is fine. Like I said, I haven't noticed much errors in this one, but you wanna know what I noticed? A really awesome contradiction where all you have to do is pay attention at the image of said evidence to notice the flaw. This shit had me acting out what the victim was doing, so I was sure about my conclusions. I don't think I was this engaged with a case quite like this before. Having me, the player, act out what the victim was doing? Kinda crazy. I also remember them talking about a mirror in the second trial day, but like there was no mention of a mirror ever being in the restaurant. And the entire thing was a lie anyway, so I don't get why this was even a thing. Pretty pointless if you ask me. The characters in this case range from tragic to absolute buffoons. I think my least favorite is Gene Armstrong. I don't really like his gimmick, and his design is an eyesore to say the least. He's not bad, but he's not a standout for good reasons either. Victor Kudo, on the other hand, I like this old-timer. The sheer confidence he has with his testimony in court, his mannerisms, his gimmick. He receives some kudos from me because I thought he was a fun character. That moment where he changes his demeanor from a tough old man persona to a timid tiny man when he sees Mia in a waitress outfit is like the best part. I mean, I would also fault if I saw Mia in a waitress outfit trying to strike a conversation with me in real life. Yes, Mia Fey is hot. Lisa Basil is the character of all time. Seriously, if you want to see the most nothing burger character of all time, then there she is. She's only here for this one section of the case where she says that the victim is a gambling loser. That's it. And then we have the man, the myth, the legend, Furio Tigre, the baddest loan shark to ever exist. I will only play this clip where he gets introduced and let the footage speak for itself. Episode Cinema, I tell you, Viola Cataverini is the only character in this case that has a sad backstory that's actually kinda effective. So, long story short, she got into a car accident, Furio Tigre just kinda wrecked the entire thing, then she got on the operating table and her operation cost her $1 million! 1 million bones that the tiger had to pay for her, otherwise his goose was cooked because Viola is the granddaughter of Bruto Cataverini, so basically mafia black market shit. What's extra ass about this whole affair is him just manipulating Viola into thinking everything is fine, even if she knows it's not fine. Even if she knows he actually doesn't care about her, just the simple thought of someone accepting her for who she is and not who her family is more than she can ask for, and yet she didn't get that. And the breakdown of the tiger is part of my favorite part where it just showcases just everything about this man, coming back to bite him in the ass. Every single deed he done that defines him. Pure gorgeous. He also caused a blackout, which is rad as hell. I also love the way we catch this guy. We basically lie about evidence and then this man, so full of himself, practically confesses in the funniest way possible. I mean, the entire case was basically fake. The murder got reenacted, just so they can have a witness, so why not have fake evidence just like that? Alright, now on with the bad stuff, yeah! The whole plot thread about the case having been tried like a month prior to Phoenix hearing about it is generally pointless. They could remove it and not a single thing would change. It feels like they wrote most of the case with events happened recently, so basically like any other case, instead of having the events happen like a month ago. They just forget that detail. Victim's desk isn't cleaned out, crime scene table still has tape on it, everyone remembers every detail flawlessly, Maggie is still wearing her waitress uniform even though she is supposed to be like in prison because she was found guilty. Gumshoe somehow didn't think to bring the case to Phoenix until like a month later. Sure. Also, Maggie Bird from Last Game returns, and good lord, she's straight up trash in this one. Her being mad at Gumshoe for simply doing his job in court is the most forced plot beat I've ever seen in my entire life. There is no reason why all of this even needs to be a thing. Also, according to these guys, the murder was premeditated, because why did Furio bring poison on him if he was sure he was gonna get the money he lended? There was basically no reason to do anything until they actually met. That being said, I still really like this case for all the reasons that exist. This is just a one-of-a-kind experience that I will never ever get going forward. So congrats Recipe for Turnabout, you are cooler in my books and are invited to the cookout. Well, can't be too positive around here or not be as negative around here. This case straight up sucks. I didn't question the case writing that hard so far in this game, but this case straight up has really weird ways of using evidence. So weird to the point where this is the first time I actually game overed. That has never happened before, what the hell? Yeah, weird shit like, oh, the victim got pushed out and then stabbed on her back, but there wasn't a bridge to work with that. She would have fallen on the bedrock, or the fact that they were simply facing each other, but that never gets addressed, and instead we're talking about the fucking coat not being dirty because the scarf is. Really? Now, Or how about Dahlia Hawthorne witnessing the accused carrying the victim to the car even it was practically impossible for her to do so because of the conspicuously giant cliff right next to her. Or how Dahlia testified that Terry Farrells couldn't, leave the victim on the bridge even though there is a conspicuously large river underneath said bridge, a river where the bodies who fell in those waters are never recovered as far as everyone is concerned. Oh no! What about murder? Why would a random murder a police woman? Who cares? Yes, I am saddened to announce the fact that the motive spiel is still a thing in this game. I think it was a thing in the other cases as well. Just such a nothing burger thing to prove. If we sufficiently prove that the culprit killed the victim, then why should I care about their motive? Just let the fucking culprits themselves say it. Terry Falls is both simultaneously the lamest defendant we had in a while, and the most concerning one of that. Bro dated a 14-year-old and said 14-year-old manipulated him into doing dumb bullshit. This man is not okay mentally, what the fuck? You know, I try to overlook the age gap shit in Turnabout Begginings, but when you have a character like him literally saying my teen angel, you're starting to lose me slowly but surely. Miles Edgeworth is the prosecutor here in his first outing even. I like the fact that we get the chance to go against a more ruthless prosecutor, and it's really neat seeing Edgeworth in this stance. Even the little nods towards Manfred von Karma are terrifying. Unfortunately, because the case is so short, I didn't have enough time to appreciate this. And he also just seemingly gives up trying to argue his case halfway through. Dahlia Hawthorne sucks ass as an overarching villain so far. Her gimmick is lame. She folds so easily the second you start questioning her testimony. Like, just a little bit of confidence in you before you start losing your shit. Come on, bro. Even when she's mean and manipulative, she's kinda boring. I just love how she's featuring the easiest cases the game has to offer, or at the very least the shortest cases the game has to offer. My favorite part of this case is them admitting the mystery they crafted is impossible to solve. Oh fuck, we can't prove that a kidnapping from 5 years ago was actually faked. And I very much enjoyed the part where they put a diamond into my evidence that was, actually testimony from the defendant no less, only to use said testimony to make our point. It's like they're preparing me for the inevitable doom we are about to run into with this series. At the very least, this case was short, only an hour and a half long it took me to record, and that's including the game over. This case was more or less just set up for the next one, but I feel like this entire thing could have been an email. My least favorite case in the entire trilogy. This one didn't stick the landing in my opinion. The final case in the entire trilogy. Everything lead up to okay, I'll stop that deep. Bridge to the Turnabout is a case where it takes all the major plot beats from the other games, aka the Misty Fate disappears, whatever the fuck the monologue from Morgan Frey at the end of case 2 of Justice for All meant, and a small cameo from the DL6s that all come together to form the conclusion to this trilogy in the most over-the-top ridiculous case to ever grace this plague. Well, okay, it's not that ridiculous, except for one thing. My favorite part about this case is the part where Phoenix straight up dies. Yep, Phoenix right. He totally did not just fall down a burning bridge in the cold as fuck raging waters and only caught a nasty cold, even though he should be dead. Honestly, if that's not plot armor, then what is? The case shifts gears into us playing as Edgeworth for the first investigation and trial day, and honestly, considering some games in this series that we're about to experience soon, I think they show us a more compelling gameplay segment where it takes the idea of playing as Miles Edgeworth and, solve the case. This is better than anything the investigation series ever did. Not a high bar to cross, not gonna lie. Case writing wise, the case's first objection is Edgeworth using Iris's testimony, and dude, I'm gonna level with you here. That's an extremely dogshit first objection. Just start with the next one. We never go past this first testimony anyways, just start with that. And I hate that Francisca has to be the one to tell you why that objection shouldn't even be a thing. Like, you wrote that shit and didn't realize what you're doing right now? Aside from that massive blunder, there are some weird ass moments here, such as them not taking their time to analyze the blood on the dagger and call for more investigation. Other than that, I thought the case was fine. Obviously, I don't want to get into specifics of swinging a dead body across a ravine under a burning bridge using some rope, because I bet that shit might involve some physics and I don't particularly care about that shit, so I'll just assume this is legit. you have the power of swinging dead bodies without any repercussions or failings or shit like that. I've avoided talking about this character until now. Godot is the new prosecutor in this game who allegedly never lost a case. He never prosecuted a case. I honestly enjoy his mannerisms. They exude so much arrogance, it's overwhelming. Perhaps too overwhelming at certain points. This is a man shrouded in mystery who also seems to be your #1 hater, crawl from the deepest, darkest pits of hell to make battle with us. I think his gimmick of being a coffee maniac is kinda neat. Broaching 16 cups of coffee each trial. I think in terms of character writing, I will say this man is probably the best one in terms of his identity and overall motivations in this role in Case 5. The GOAT Case 3 showcases he can't see red stains on a white background and his visor illuminates in the dark, which are important things that come up in Case 5. Other times, he has the tendency to be projecting his insecurities a bit too much and his toxicity also too much, especially against women. Like, damn, what did Francisca do to you? Overall, I would describe him as not a perfect character, but a perfect character, if you catch my drift. Francisca returns to this game. Yay! One big thing about her character was how she was insecure about her being overshadowed by his little brother, Miles Edgeworth, to the point that while Miles was doing his own stuff during Game 2, she took the opportunity to defeat his rival, Phoenix Wright. That way, she would be able to get revenge on him and eventually come out on top. But she never managed to do that. Now she has a bigger and better opportunity to defeat the man himself. She still loses. Honestly, a natural continuation from what we had before, which is something that I very much like. I also find it funny that in the investigation she keeps following us around like a fucking tsundere. Phoenix is into dangerous women. One humongous problem I have with her here is the small plot point about her giving Nick the card back. The fourth piece of evidence even. We never ever hear about that stupid card ever again. What's up with that? Miles Edgeworth also returns, this time following his childhood dreams, if only but for a moment. Playing as Miles was cool. We got to see how these characters think from themselves. Aside from that, it doesn't really do much in the second half. I'm noticing a trend. Larry also returns this time. He's an artist and he witnessed the body swinging underneath the bridge and made a drawing about it and everyone just fucking hates his ass. Okay, seriously, okay. I know Larry in this game is not, the best showcase of him, but come the fuck on, dude. What did this man do to y'all? I swear, they upped their ante when it comes to Larry slander. I do not remember them shitting on Larry so much before. This was jarring to witness. Surprisingly, I actually like Maya in this case. Maybe it's because she's not bound to be just, an assistant character, instead takes an active role in the story. Those final cross-examinations were a little bit brutal. They showcased how much trauma she received from this incident and how much she detests the role she's put in to become the master of Corrine Village, especially when you have people like Morgan always scheming in the background. I think they did a great job with her character, and I did feel for her at one point. Pearl Faye, honestly, the first thing they do with her character is Phoenix and Maya letting her stay with a random ass stranger. Like, that's Professor Light that looks Triton levels of not giving a shit about Flora. But yeah, even when she's active in this case, her listening to her mother and trying her best to execute her evil fucked up plans is basically the icing on the cake in this familial drama. Also, I like that Larry tried to console Pearl for a bit, albeit unsuccessful. They kinda redeemed Dahlia as a villain to me, like fuck it, how about we make an interesting twist and then go full on unhinged from there. Most of the heavy lifting is done by that exorcism scene, like yeah sure, fuck it, what the fuck is Ace Attorney about? Iris is the twin sister of Dahlia Hawthorne, and while I like her relationship with Phoenix, good lord she's fucking boring. She's stuck between the same two feelings and then gets smited during the second half. At the very least we had her super secret relationship with Phoenix revealed to us and getting a cute resolution. Honestly, I hope they return to each other after this. And yeah, it was pretty cool in this case. Aura farming the fuck out of Dahlia, bro roasted her until she just dissolved into nothing. That's crazy. Narrative wise, honestly, if they stopped making Ace Attorney games, then I think this is a great and satisfying enough conclusion to the series overall. Was it perfect? No, not really, but I think it was solid enough. And with that, we reached the end of the line. Truth be told, I got a little bit nostalgic when revisiting the first 3 games because these games were there when I started my Ace Attorney hyperfixation, and I always enjoy going back to and checking out old games, especially if it's old games in a long-running series. Just a neat way to see how the series progressed from the first game to the next one to now. Unfortunately, it's all downhill from here. I enjoyed the Phoenix Wright trilogy for what it's worth, and really, even despite my occasional nitpick here and there, I do recommend this trilogy of games because they're at least solid enough detective games. Next up, Apollo and his giant ass forehead are setting up the law offices of Justice and Mid, and we're about to drink his Kool-Aid. No, I don't hate Ace Attorney 4, but I also don't think too highly of it. Until next time, I'm done with this visual novel slop, man. I've been playing only visual novel games. I need a palate cleanser. So how about visual novel, but it's more interactive than most games? So maybe I'm referring to walking simulators? I want to play an RPG Maker game. Make sure to vote for it and not, the community poll. Okay, thanks, bye. Expect the next few reviews to be all short and small games so I can put out videos quicker, I guess, because I want to prepare something for next month. Now, whether I manage to do said thing is an entirely different thing, or I think maybe I'll just scrap it, or who knows. But for now, the Layton and Wright games are put on hold. I hope you guys are looking forward to the next video either way. Thank you guys so much for watching and for even reaching out almost at 1,100 subscribers. Let's keep that trend going, guys. So yeah, have a nice day.